Hey, Kris. Great 3 minutes. Can you just maybe a thought on how well you guys played and how frantic it kind of got there at the end?
Yeah, it got a little stressful, and I think Leo said it perfectly. We would have preferred it to be less stressful and kind of cruise to the end of the game. And, for the most part, I think for 60 minutes in Edmonton and about 50 minutes here, we played a pretty good game. Pretty solid offensively, defensively. I liked a lot of things that we did. We made a mistake. Always happens. There's going to be mistakes. And just gave them life, a lot of energy, and they really had they saw an opportunity that they were back in the game. And, we made it close. But overall, besides the last 10 minutes, I couldn't be proud of our boys.
To beat a team like this, you need contributions from everybody in your lineup. Same thing's going to happen with Dallas. I just want to ask you about those contributions and how everyone kind of chipped in, especially later half of that series.
Yeah, no, I think everyone contributed very well. Our bottom line guys on the penalty kill, mostly that's third and fourth line guys, plus Nuge. That penalty kill that we had in the first period. I think that was about as good as we could have played in the first period. And then they get the 4 minutes to finish off the last 4 minutes. That could be a different game where we played, I thought, really well. And that could be a turning point in the game. But our penalty kill, like it has been for almost all the playoffs, has been really solid. And, now Sam Carrick's another guy in the bottom six who made a lot of contributions. I know he played about 10 minutes tonight. Key face-offs for us, did a lot of good things. So, and then, we can talk about the contributions of our top guys, but we're talking about them all the time. But, I thought we played a pretty good team, solid team game.
Evan Bouchard, the points are kind of speaking for themselves, pretty dominant offensively, but then out on the ice to help save the series in the last minute there. Just a thought on all aspects of his game this series.
Yeah, he's grown a lot, I was having this conversation earlier in the year or day about Evan, about seeing him play junior hockey. We had quite a rivalry with the Erie Otters and London Knights, and you see this tall, lanky defenseman, and I thought, all right, let's take advantage of him. He looks a little sleepy out there. He looks maybe a little lost. All right, we're going to take advantage of him. Let's do that. Well, we never did. He was just such a good player right from being at 16 years old. And, he's doing what I saw him do at junior level at, 16, 17 years old. Now he's doing it at the NHL. Just a really smart hockey player, making good passes, good reads. And now his defensive responsibilities have just increased over the year. I've got a lot of faith in him.
Darnell Nurse holds a little bit of a meeting there at a commercial break. Connor talked a little bit about that kind of display of leadership, and then you use a timeout, which is somewhat rare for you, I think. And just maybe your thoughts on those two events and how it helped stabilize your group.
Well, Darnell's obviously he's been with the team, one of the longest members here, and has been a leader. His work ethic, his plays speaks a lot, very loudly. But speaks even more when you're playing well. And I think the last two games, he really stepped up and elevated his game. For him to, have the confidence to rally the guys and tell them, what he said. Guys obviously appreciate that. And I think it was a well-timed thing to do from a leader.
Kris, I know the focus is always on your own team, but we had 6 one-goal games in this series. Just a thought on how relentless Vancouver was during the course of the series, and just the fact that they brought that requisite energy nonstop, right, literally to the final seconds.
Yeah, no, a lot of credit to the Vancouver. They obviously have a lot of really good hockey players, and any deficiencies they had, I think the coaching staff did a really good job on covering those up and getting the most out of their guys. And, their work ethic and their compete would be one of the strongest attributes that they have. But, well coached, well rounded hockey team, and yeah, there was a lot of close games. One game wasn't close. That was it.
Have you taken the liberty to look at Dallas yet? Or did you not want to get ahead of yourself?
No, not getting ahead of ourselves at all. We're worried and concentrating on this series. And when I get out of this and I open up my laptop on the plane, I'll be diving into Dallas right away. We've got we don't have quite as much time as we did to get ready for Vancouver, which I think is good. I think we had too much time where we're overthinking things and just obviously we'd like maybe a little more time, but we'll get back at it. I think we're playing some good hockey, and I think it's good for us.
Kris, from your team's perspective, this was a really interesting series in that you never had a lead in the series. You had a game where you blew a big lead. You made a goaltending change. What do you think your team learned about itself along the way this round?
Well, I think we've been talking through the regular season about how we handled adversity. Through the regular season, obviously, the stressors or the things that arise to kind of throw you off the rails in the regular season, isn't that much. It's not that big a thing. But there are things, whether a referee calls a bad call or they score a timely goal or you make a mistake, whatever it is. I think during the season we've handled it well. We've talked about what we needed to do going forward. Hey, we saw some of those things happen through this series. We had to make a goalie change. We played really well and we lost, and just a lot of variables. And the composure on the bench and the focus from our players was just next guy up, win your next shift, and not get caught up in what could have happened, and looking forward to what they're going to be doing.
Kris, you kind of touched on your depth earlier, but it seemed like these last two games were maybe your most complete from a team perspective, with a lot of guys pitching in, or almost everyone pitching in. You're going to face a very deep Dallas team now, so how much do you think these last two games can really kind of bode well for your team and have everyone kind of pulling on the rope?
Oh, if we have a chance to beat the Dallas Stars, we're going to need everybody contributing. We can't rely on one or two lines, one or two pairs of defensemen, or just our goaltender. It's going to be a solid team effort if we want an opportunity to do that. And, from what we saw in the last few games through this series, gives me optimism that we should be doing okay against this team. And, we're looking forward to getting going on Thursday.
I know things got a little bit hairy there late in the game, and you touched on maybe wanting things to defend a little bit better. But you kept a lot of shots to the outside, and I think you only had 5. The Canucks only had 5 on net in that period. So what does that kind of say about the way the group actually did defend, and did you like what you saw from that perspective?
I think, obviously there was that turnover, big turning point in that game, but, I thought we did a pretty good job right up until then. They got that goal, and then it just gives you so much energy. That team that's making that comeback, you're at home. It looked like, 3-0. There's very little opportunity because we hadn't given up very much. And now we make a mistake and they score on it. It's tough. We rallied and, they scored on their next opportunity. But I saw a lot of key defensive plays, whether breaking up a play in the slot with a stick, or I don't know how many key block shots we had. I know Leon had one, Connor had one, Heisey, those guys. Obviously Darnell Nurse had quite a few block shots. But, if we're going to have success, and we talked about it right through the regular season and into the playoffs, the best teams are the ones that can defend. We need to be able to defend. And overall this series, I thought we did a pretty good job.
Brian McLeod makes the big mistake at the end. I don't think you played him again. How do you deal with a young player makes a mistake, and it's a big one? How do you sort of make sure that doesn't leave too big a dent?
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. Just one, you don't know how he's going to handle that the next play. The next time the puck's on a stick, what's he going to do? Because part of being a defensive player is being able to make the play with the puck. But I'll tell you, that last 7-8 minutes of the game, I missed him. Like, I wanted him out there, but you also have to be careful of how he's going to handle that. He probably would have handled it fine. I think he would have been in the play, but you're not sure. I know there's a very strong, supportive team that a group of players that are giving him a lot of support, and I'm sure he's going to put it behind him, and he might be starting the game 1 opening draw against Dallas, because I don't know how far we're going to get without him playing well and playing some key situations.